Hello lovely people, my name is Barbara. This is a channel about mapping my cycle and what it entitles, what it does, and how it's all interconnected through our lives. I am trying to inform as many people, not just women but also men, about our cycle, how it's changing, how we are changing, how our hormones are changing in our body and how it affects how we feel, how we are, and why it's important not to repress those changes, why it's rather beneficial for us to embrace those changes. So let's get into it. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. This video is about mapping my cycle. Even though my colors, my dress, my surrounding speaks loud summertime, menstrual phase is the winter time for women, and so we gotta treat our body and ourselves accordingly to where our body is rather than what is surrounding us. Of course, like, we have to incorporate it and we have to take in consideration if it's a summertime or wintertime on the earth. But our body and us comes first, and we have to really take into consideration how we feel, what we need, and how we can support ourselves to feel happy, to feel nurtured and taken care of. Because especially in this phase, we are super sensitive. We're so sensitive that sometimes people call it that we're oversensitive, that we react too much, that we're just like too much. The truth is that we are very sensitive during this time, and it's very important to acknowledge that our intuition is heightened, our senses are heightened, and we are very sensitive to the slightest, smallest nuances. And that's exactly the reason why it's really important during this time to give ourselves space to be away from people if possible, or just not to be surrounded by many people, because we have a tendency to feel more. So if there is a lot of disruption around us, we take it on and we feel it as well, and it's not comfortable and it's not pleasant and it's not nice, most likely. So that's why I definitely would suggest and recommend to you to be aware that during this time you really need to take some time off, to really take the time to nurture ourselves. And it's different for everybody, and it's going to be different for seasons during the year. But maybe what can be helpful and nurturing when it's summertime is to go into the sun and stay in the sun for a bit, to just like recharge and get some energy. Or if you don't like the sun, you can just maybe just hang out in the shade and just lay down and just stay calm. Our menstrual phase is really very important part of our cycle, when we are releasing from our body what no longer needs to be there, which is a great gift, and you can look at it as a great gift. In the society, there is a tendency to diminish or make it look or seem like menstrual phase should be hidden. It should be it's something dirty, it's something nasty, it should not be seen, it should not be talked about. And many people don't talk about it. Many people are ashamed, and many people feel afraid to talk about it. And I feel like that's the saddest thing, because all women are experiencing cycle and all women are experiencing menstrual phase. Of course, nowadays there are ways to stop our menstrual cycle, to drug ourselves with some hormones and basically prolong the period when we don't have our period. To me personally, that is pretty scary, and it's also not natural, it's not beneficial for our body. It can prevent pregnancy, but at what cost? And I'm not saying to just be irresponsible and get pregnant whenever. I've been sexually active since I've been 20 years old, and I just have one child, and I was very consciously conceived. And I know that there are some people who got pregnant even when they were using condom or hormonal contraception. I personally have this belief that what's meant to happen is gonna happen, and whether you are preventing yourself from getting pregnant, it's a miracle and it's gonna happen if it's supposed to happen. And again, I'm really very conscious person. I am very aware and mindful, and I'm not telling you to do whatever or just like be irresponsible and have unprotected sex, especially because of the STD. You gotta be careful who you're choosing to sleep with. Your body is your temple, and your body is receiving, and you better be conscious who are you receiving, because all the energy of the person that comes into your body is received, and whether you like it or not, or whether you believe it or not, you are taking on the other person's energy. It's rather wise to be picky and to be aware, who is gonna be the chosen person who can enter your body and your temple. I very clearly remember the first time when I got my period. I was waiting for it. I was ready to have my period. I knew that it's coming. I was informed, and I was informed in a very loving way. My mom told me before I got my period that, well, at the time there was no internet, only books, but I remember, and it really matters how we have this experience passed on. And that's why I'm making these videos, to make sure that as many women and as many girls have information, more information, and can make a better decision about how they're gonna receive their menstrual cycle and how they're gonna experience it. A lot of it is our mental projection about this experience, and what are we gonna experience physically as well. My mom told me once I'm gonna start bleeding, that means that I'm healthy and then everything is okay. My mom had 8 kids, and so she was pregnant a lot, so from very young age I knew how the babies are born, how they grow in the belly. My mom was never bull eating me about any of the BS that, like you found a baby somewhere, or like the baby is brought by like some animals or something. I knew, and I think that we can tell our kids it's about appropriate time and appropriate age what information we're gonna share with them that they can understand. But I'm all about informed consent and about not pretending, not to lie, not to just somehow say just partially something, just to be open and be open about it. That's our body, and it's happening to all women, so let's not pretend that it's not happening, and let's not try to hide it. I'm not saying to be all out there, and just like, we can be sensitive about it, and we can not, let's just be honest. So anyways, once I got my first period, I was almost 15 years old. I know that nowadays it's almost considered late. I think that it's pretty normal, but it can vary based on our genetics. But there are many different reasons why nowadays many girls are getting their periods very early, and I think it's part of it is there is a lot of hormones in our body, in our like food that we consume, and etc. And my mom told me, you became a woman, welcome to womanhood. That's a great news. You're healthy, everything is fine, your body is working just as it's supposed to work. And from now on, whenever you're gonna have sex with somebody, you can get pregnant. No matter what contraception you're gonna choose, you can possibly get pregnant. So you better choose wisely who you are gonna sleep with, because that person, that man, can potentially become the father of your child. And I believe that that was like the best advice that I was ever given from my mom, because she gave me the responsibility to take care of my body and be responsible for my body, to be responsible, not to pretend that as a teenager that I'm not going to be interested in sex and sexuality. I'm not going to be exploring, but to be aware and to be mindful of the possibility that it is possible to get pregnant. Anytime you have sex, you can get pregnant. It's very unlikely, but it is possible. And I believe it's very wise to be careful who you're trusting, who you are sharing your body with, because the more men know that their body, the more pleasure they can give you when you're making love, and you can actually enjoy it and you can enjoy yourself. I don't believe that making love is only for getting pregnant and having babies. I know that there are some beliefs out there. You are, of course, that's your belief, and it's totally okay. I don't agree with that belief. I just believe that our body is here. Our physical body is for us to experience life, and lovemaking is part of it. Having menstrual phase of your cycle is part of it too, and it's a wonderful way to ground yourself, to really feel in your body, and to experience the power of cleansing the body, releasing, letting go, and just be within, like really dig deep and go within and find out what is there, what's in me, what am I wanting, what am I dreaming about, what are my visions for future. So don't be afraid to listen to your body, to celebrate your body, to be aware how your body works. Find as much information as you can, because when we are informed, we can make informed decisions about ourselves, our body. And when we bring into our consciousness what was in our unconsciousness, we can actually work with it, we can change it. There's a lot of trauma that has happened to us, especially when this information about how our body works and what it can do and what it does was passed in a not very loving, caring way. And that's why I'm here also, because I really am trying to help women to heal some of those wounds. I'm also helping women to ground themselves, because grounding is very important. A lot of us have a tendency to just kind of like fly and be out of our body. We're on this earth right now and we're experiencing through our body. So I think it's just very fitting to experience what it is to be in this body and take all these advantages of the sensitivity of our body, how magnificently it works. Whenever there is some pain and some ache, that means that our body is trying to communicate to us. It's trying to tell us that something is not right. If there wouldn't be the pain, there wouldn't be a message, because we have a tendency to overlook those little tiny messages when there's just like a little tiny pain. We're not paying attention to it until it's bigger and bigger and bigger pain, which is unfortunate, but that's what's happening a lot. Little update about my menstrual phase. This month I've been traveling across the ocean and all across US, which is 9 hours difference from Czech to US. We are currently in Southern California, San Diego, Poway, where my parents-in-law live, and we're visiting. Luckily for me, this time we traveled when it was basically almost the end of my menstrual cycle and my active phase started. So I was not sick. I traveled really well. Usually when I'm traveling during my menstrual cycle, I can get easily sick from the air conditioning. This time it didn't happen, luckily for me. And I got my period a couple days before I was supposed to, but since I am basically 9 hours behind, and because of the traveling and my body had to adjust, I got my period a couple days earlier, which is very normal and it's very usual. Basically it would be just a day early because of the time difference, and the only discomfort that I felt this time was just like maybe little tiny cramps. It was basically because we were traveling to Yosemite National Park, and there was the last day when we decided to actually leave a night earlier. because there have been big fires, and so there was a lot of smoke. I didn't eat very well this in those past few weeks. I've been eating a lot of sugar, and I've been eating a lot of stuff that is not so great for my body. But given the fact that I was not eating so well, slightly tender breasts a few days before my period, which means a lot of estrogen in my body, more than my body should have at the time, and also like slightly cramping, but not uncomfortable. Like, I just knew that my period is coming, so that was the only thing. Other than that, I knew, just like as we were in Yosemite, I felt that I just wanted to retreat. I don't want to be around many people. There were many people camping, so that was a lot, but I was trying to just take some time and rest as much as I could, whenever I could, and it was still very pleasant. I really enjoyed Yosemite. It's a beautiful park, and we are fortunate enough that we came there early enough that we had 2 beautiful days without any smoke in the air. The third day was a lot of smoke, so it was not so great for our lungs, and I'm still coughing, but my body is gonna take care of it, I'm sure. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I post almost every Wednesday. I try to switch up 1 week in Czech, 1 week in English. I also do personal consultations about the menstrual cycle, about grounding and some healing. It's for people who don't live in Prague. It's online, and I'm also a photographer, so whenever I have a chance, I love taking photos, empowering photos of people. If you like this video, please leave a comment. You can give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm looking forward to see you at my next video in a couple weeks. Have a beautiful day, and bye.